What if an entire country decided normal just wasn't good enough anymore? What if garbage cans could think, umbrellas could cool you down, and dinner could arrive at your door without a single human hand touching it? This isn't science fiction. This is Tuesday in Japan. 12 real inventions, 12 problems most of us just live with, and one country that refused to accept any of them. Stay to the end, because the final invention on this list might be the moment you realize the future already started without you. This is Japan Inventions Hub, where we uncover the smartest ideas, inventions, and everyday innovations coming out of Japan. If you love discovering things that shouldn't exist yet, but somehow already do, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Number 12, the gum wrapper. Nobody talks about. Picture this, you're chewing gum on a walk and when you're done, you have nowhere to put it. Sound familiar? In Japan, that problem barely exists. Every pack of gum sold there comes with a small booklet of paper sheets built specifically for tossing out your used gum. Japan created this because sticky gum on sidewalks and under tables was a quiet, constant annoyance nobody wanted to normalize. Using it is effortless. Tear a sheet, wrap the gum, drop it in a bin. People love it because it removes the awkward, now what do I do with this moment completely. Here's the surprising part. Some of these wrapper designs have barely changed in decades because they never needed fixing. It's proof that Japan doesn't always chase flashy tech. Sometimes the smartest invention is the one you almost don't notice. But the next idea on this list is a lot harder to ignore. Number 11, the ashtray that fits in your pocket. Imagine wanting a cigarette in a city where the sidewalk simply isn't an option. In most of Japan, strict no-smoking laws make lighting up outdoors legally impossible in many districts. So instead of banning the habit and hoping for the best, Japan gave smokers something practical, a sealed pocket-sized ashtray that locks in odor and ash until you reach a proper bin. It works like a tiny vault, snapping shut after use so nothing leaks or smells. People love it because it lets them follow the rules without carrying guilt or garbage around all day. Here's something most visitors never notice. Walk through Tokyo's busiest station in the morning, and you won't find a single cigarette butt on the ground. That's not luck. That's design. Japan solved a habit-based mess with a habit-based tool. And speaking of spotless floors, wait until you see what happens the moment you walk into a Japanese hospital. Number 10, the 3-second machine that keeps hospitals spotless. What if you never had to take your shoes off again, and the floor still stayed perfectly clean? Hospitals, care facilities, and public buildings across Japan use exactly that kind of machine. It wraps each shoe in a paper-thin plastic film in about 3 seconds flat. Japan built this because hospital floors need to stay free of outside dirt and bacteria, but asking every visitor to remove their shoes creates chaos and delays. You simply step onto a small platform, press a button, and the machine seals your shoes instantly. Visitors love it because it's fast, painless, and requires zero effort. Here's a fact that surprises people. The film is thinner than a plastic sandwich bag, yet strong enough to survive an entire hospital visit without tearing. It's a tiny piece of engineering solving a problem most countries just accept as unavoidable. Number 9, the pen that seals your snacks. Ever opened a bag of chips, eaten half, and had absolutely no good way to keep the rest fresh? Japan solved this with a handheld heat sealer roughly the size of a marker. Run it along the open edge of any plastic bag and it fuses shut in seconds, creating a genuine airtight seal. Japan created this because clips, folds, and rubber bands never actually stop air from sneaking back in. The device heats up almost instantly and works on nearly any plastic food packaging you already own. People love it because it turns a half-used bag into a fully sealed one with no mess and no waste. Here's the surprising twist. It's sold in convenience stores as casually as a phone charger, not as some specialty kitchen gadget. A $5 tool solving a frustration nearly every kitchen on Earth deals with weekly. Speaking of things nobody expected to need fixing, wait until you hear what Japan did to water itself. Number 8, the water you can squeeze. What if drinking water didn't require a bottle at all? Japan makes a version of water that comes as a squeezable jelly, sealed inside a soft, tearable pouch. It's made using a natural seaweed-derived gelling agent, so it delivers the same hydration as liquid water, just in a completely different form. Japan created this for people who struggle to swallow liquids, for emergency kits, and for anyone who's ever spilled a bottle at the worst possible moment. Using it couldn't be simpler. Tear the corner, squeeze, and it's gone. No lid, no mess, no risk. People love it because it feels almost playful while solving a very real problem. Here's something most people don't expect. It's stocked in ordinary convenience stores right next to regular bottled water, treated as a completely normal option. Japan looked at the humble water bottle and asked if it was even the right idea to begin with. If you're enjoying these amazing Japanese ideas, make sure to subscribe to Japan Inventions Hub. We upload videos showcasing Japan's smartest inventions, everyday innovations, and brilliant ideas that deserve to be everywhere. Now, let's continue. Number 7. the powder that turns hot oil into solid waste. Here's a question every home cook dreads. What do you actually do with the oil left in the pan after frying? Japan's answer is a simple powder sold in nearly every supermarket. Sprinkle it into hot, used cooking oil right after cooking, and within minutes, the entire pan hardens into a solid, waxy block. Japan created this because pouring oil down a drain damages pipes, and letting it sit in a container is just delaying the inevitable mess. The powder reacts instantly with the hot oil, locking it into a solid you can simply peel out and toss in the trash. People love it because cleanup goes from a dreaded chore to a 30-second task. Here's the surprising part: no funnel, no gloves, and no trip to a recycling center required at all. A tiny packet solving a problem that frustrates kitchens across the entire planet. And Japan's next invention tackles a problem the whole country faces every single summer. Number 6. The umbrella that blows cold air. What if your umbrella could actually cool you down instead of just blocking the sun? Japan built exactly that. An umbrella with a battery-powered fan and a fine misting system tucked right into the canopy. It releases ultra-fine water droplets that evaporate on contact with your skin, dropping the temperature around your head and shoulders by several degrees. Japan created this because its summers are punishing: extreme heat, thick humidity, and hours of direct sun with almost no relief. The battery recharges through a simple USB cable and lasts for hours at a time. People love it because it turns a miserable summer walk into something almost bearable, sometimes even enjoyable. Here's a fact most people miss. The umbrella looks slightly unusual, almost bulky, but Japan clearly decided function mattered far more than appearance. It's proof that solving real discomfort beats chasing a sleek design every time. Speaking of comfort, Japan's next invention deals with something we don't usually associate with gadgets at all. Number 5. The dog you can borrow. What if you wanted a dog, but your apartment said no and your job said there's no time? Japan built a legitimate answer. Registered rent-a-dog services in major cities where you can borrow a specific, well-cared-for dog for a walk or an afternoon. Japan created this because most city apartments ban pets outright, and many residents work hours that make full-time ownership genuinely unrealistic. The process is simple. Register, get matched with a suitable dog, and spend real time together before returning it to its caretakers. People love it because it delivers genuine companionship without the long-term commitment they simply can't provide. Here's the detail that surprises most people. Every dog is assessed for welfare and temperament before it's ever paired with a customer. So this isn't a novelty, it's carefully managed. Japan noticed a very human need going unmet and quietly built a system around it. And if that feels thoughtful, wait until you see how Japan handles the trash. Number 4. The trash can that thinks for you. What if you never had to guess which bin your garbage belongs in again? Japan built exactly that. Air-powered bins equipped with cameras and machine learning that identify whatever you drop inside and automatically sort it into the correct compartment. Japan created this because its waste separation rules are some of the strictest on the planet, and getting sorting wrong can mean your trash gets left uncollected entirely. You simply drop the item into the bin's opening, and within about a second, an internal mechanism routes it to the right chamber. People love it because it removes the anxiety of, am I doing this correctly completely? Here's the surprising part. Even confused tourists unfamiliar with local rules can use it without a single mistake. A machine doing the thinking so people don't have to. And Japan's obsession with getting the details right shows up somewhere far more delicious next. Number 3. The stone that cooks your dinner. What if the stove came straight to your table and you controlled every single second of cooking? That's exactly the experience at Ishaki restaurants across Japan, where a thick, superheated volcanic stone arrives at your seat, and you cook your own meat and vegetables directly on its surface. Japan created this dining style to give people full control over doneness, timing, and flavor, rather than trusting a kitchen you never see. The stone holds its heat for the entire meal without needing any extra heat source at the table. People love it because eating becomes interactive, almost like a small performance you're the star of. Here's a fact most diners don't realize. The stone's surface creates a sear and crust that a regular pan or grill simply can't replicate. It turns dinner into entertainment without anyone lifting a spatula behind the scenes. And the next invention takes that same hands-off spirit and applies it to how people move through a city. Number 2. The pod that drives itself. What if getting somewhere didn't require a driver, a steering wheel, or even an engine? Japan built small, wooden-bodied mobility pods that carry a single passenger along a fixed route through pedestrian streets, completely on their own. Japan created these for areas where traditional buses and trains are too costly to maintain, especially in aging rural communities. You simply board, pick your stop, and sensors handle everything else, reading the environment in real time and stopping automatically for anything in the way. People love it because it feels less like riding in a machine and more like being guided gently through a neighborhood. Here's the surprising detail. The wooden design isn't decoration, it's intentional, making the pod feel approachable instead of intimidating in shared public spaces. These aren't lab experiments hidden away somewhere. They're already running in active trials across real Japanese towns today. And that same driverless mindset leads directly into the invention that might be the biggest one on this entire list. Number 1. The robot that delivers your dinner. What if your food arrived at your door and not a single human being was involved anywhere along the way? Right now, in multiple Japanese cities, autonomous four-wheeled robots are delivering takeout meals completely on their own. Japan built this because delivery industries everywhere are struggling with labor shortages, rising costs, and road safety concerns tied to human drivers and cyclists. You order through an app and a robot leaves the restaurant, reading sidewalks, crossings, and pedestrians using its own sensors in real time. When it reaches your building, it messages your phone and you head down, enter a code, and open its insulated compartment yourself. People love it because it feels less like the future and more like a genuinely useful part of daily life already. Here's the fact that changes everything. This isn't a small pilot program tucked away in a testing zone. It's a standard, everyday delivery option, operating openly on ordinary public sidewalks right now. While other countries are still debating whether this is even possible, Japan already built it, tested it, and put it to work. 12 incredible ideas. One country that refuses to settle for good enough. So tell us, which Japanese idea surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below. And if you want more discoveries like this, subscribe to Japan Inventions Hub so you never miss what Japan builds next.